What motive could I have to kill my co-conspirator for trying to steal the real statue?
Objection!
Yeah, okay, now everything makes sense. Because he wanted to kill Money Coaches because he wanted Paleno to be the leader instead of him. If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Cochin had betrayed you. But you had your own reason too. Namely, you wanted to pin the smuggling on all him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into his mess.
Objection!
I don't believe this. You had a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your argument? I never use guesswork in moving my case forwards. No, I kind of have. Sorry. It has been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of the note is a request calling for the theft of Alabaster Primaduck statue. By killing it and pushing all the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you may walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him.
Objection!
Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive for a thought alone can kill. Isn't that right? I didn't expect him to resort to playing this semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you will excuse me for the second time. Wait, what? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man Manny was, he was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death. That is something for Babal to figure out and something to which I have no relation to. Exclamation mark. Aha! Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Paleno. I'm very sorry, but it seems that even my voice falls on deaf ears. There is no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Paleno. We must find some way to stop him from leaving. It seems there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. Somebody says, hold it. Who said that? Okay, hold it right there, Ambassador Alba. Okay. Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, the Yatagorasu's legacy will live on through me. Yes, but how do you suggest we stop him from leaving? You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this? An organizer? No. And why should I recognize that tattered old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before? This is Burns' organizer. That is a clue my father, Bern Faraday, left for us. Did you say Bern Faraday? Mr. Faraday's organizer. Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG-8 incident. The one in which he wrote about the Yatagarasu ski. Yes, this organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss You killed 7 years ago. Huh. I have no idea what you're talking about. You say that it's like it was related to me. Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did. What an amusing little girl you are. But that sort of trickery won't work on me. If you won't believe me, then take a look at this. And what is that toy there? This thievery device was used by the Yatagarasu, or rather, by my father. And now there's a gust of wind blowing in her. The scarf is blowing in the wind, just like Kazuma Asogi. The winds of truth or the winds of change. Alba ... 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy. What? These 2 pieces of evidence that hold information the Yatagarasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to Alabas right behind you. Little girl, get to the point. I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. If you win, I'll hand over these 2 pieces of evidence. Yatagarasu, ever the thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain any information on these dirty dealings? It's nothing case-breaking, really. Then it was just a bluff. Even if it was, we still can't let all the info my father and Kobad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him. Those 2 pieces, aren't they keepsake of your father? It's okay, I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end. Okay. When the going gets tough, someone's gonna be there to put the wind back in your sails. After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all, barring a person like me? Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. That even if you use all the power of Ambassador Paleno's office, you won't stop me. Don't we run into K like 10 years later in another game? I can't remember. No, we ran into K 7 years ago into this very game. And then she comes back in the second Miles Edgeworth game, but she doesn't come later in a Phoenix Wright game. I can't let this opportunity K has created for me go to waste. Basically, K is a Miles Edgeworth only game. Alba's Alibi Part 2. The last time I met with Mr. Koshin was here at the Theatrum Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabas the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Koshin again after that. So you see, there's no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people were practically begging, I'll allow you to question me. What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter, we can't allow this chance to escape us. I will warn you though, you've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane question and you'll be punished double time. So every error here is gonna cost double my health. So any needless pressing or presenting will hurt our case? Aha! In that case, the only thing you can do is present the correct evidence. Understood? Of course, I don't intend to let it intimidate me. So yeah, no press and double playing. I know Mr. Kochin was killed before he returned to Babal. In which case, there is only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. Alba's Alibi Part 2. The last time I met with Mr. Kochin was here at the Theatrum Neutralis. That's true. After that, I was in Alabas the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. Yeah. Any case, I did not see Mr. Kochin again after that. So, there's no time span in which I could have killed him. So, which is the contradiction? This is, there fire something where there was a distraction. The first fire happened during the beginning of the Jamming Ninja show, and the second one at the end of it. Here we're talking before all of that. At the end of... We're trying to prove that Manny Kochan was killed at the end of the Steel Samurai show. Because he was already dead when the fire happened. So you want me to present the fire during the fourth statement that says there is no time span in which I could have killed him? I could always save. We have to prove that he was killed when Alba met him in the Neutralis. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna press, and I'm gonna reload every time I did something unnecessary.
Hold
it! You met with the victim here. I was watching the Steel Samurai, as was Mr. Kochan, who was sitting nearby. I've been meaning to ask why invite the Steel Samurai as a guest for an embassy event. I like Steel Samurai Daddy, so I asked for him to be at the event. I see. So it was by Ambassador Alba's request. Now then, would that be all? No, wait! I'm not finished yet. No. You're not very good at listening, are you? So I'm gonna reload here. Oh. Amazing. Diplomats really do know how to craft answers that don't answer anything. So, if the only place you've met the victim was at this theater, then when was he killed? I gotta go for dinner. We'll be gone in a bit. No problem. I might take a little break to catch a sandwich. And I'm gonna continue until 9 p.m., that's for sure. We know that Mr. Kochan didn't return to Babal alive. Which means that the only time he could have been killed is when they were both here. And that means that he was planning to kill Mr. Kochan from the start. After that, I was in Alabas the rest of the time, as I stated earlier.
Hold
it! Do you have anyone who can testify that you never left Alabas after that? Of course I do. I was in front of a large crowd to give my speech, wasn't I? I guess he's not lying about being in Alabas the whole time. Yes, as long as he's willing to admit them as the second murder, and I suppose so. But he keeps saying that it was justified self-defense. Oh, I get it. So what if I were to pretend to be a real klutz and then tripped into Mr. Meadows really hard? That would count as self-defense, right? That's not self-defense, that's just being careless. Well, you never know until you try. I suggest that you don't, especially since you've given me a statement of intent. Now then, will that be all? No, wait. I'm not finished.
Objection!
Okay, I'm gonna go with the security camera.
Objection!
No. I'm gonna try the commemorative photo.
Objection!
Aha! First statement, commemorative photo. I'm gonna prepare my sandwich, be right back. Okay, I am back. I went to a little trip to the bathroom at the same time. I got my sandwiches. I'd like you to take a look at this picture. It's a nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, all right. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you committed the murder. Come again? This is the knife that killed Mr. Cochin! Exclamation mark. I see you recognize it as well you should, for it was you who brought it to this theater. You hid it among the flower you were going to give to the Steel Samurai, meaning that you killed many Cochin here at the theater. It's time for me to catch my flight.
Objection!
We're not through yet.
Objection!
It's game over for you, Mr. Edgeworth. But I thank you for the entertainment. No matter how passionate you orate, the end result will still be the same. I won't be returning to this country ever again. That's right. This man is an ambassador, and he has extraterritorial rights. No matter how hard we chase after him, we won't be able to have him tried in court. Yes, that's exactly the face you should be making. The face of a worthless cur. Oh. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell for the third time. The courts! Is there no one who can lay a finger on this man? Is this really the end? Ah, I'm back! Agent Long! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Get out of my way! My plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Alba. I'm through playing games with you people. You can't touch me. If you do, it would spark an international incident, Agent Lang. Sorry, but no it wouldn't. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Good job holding the fort down here until I got back. So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me the die-hard quote and let me through. Langji says before aiming for the throat, chew the neck shield off first. Interpol headquarters and the Imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabast took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. The Imperial household? You! What have you done? You have been relieved of your duty as ambassador, Mr. Alba. What? 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 Effective today, effective right now. And you have Mr. Prosecutor's videotape to thank for this. The video the Yatagarasu protected. You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador. In that case, I thought I'd strip you of that title. You underestimated me, a descendant of the founder of detainment and philosophy, Langji. 4,000 years of deeply entrenched connection and network around the world have really paid off. Ha ha ha!
It can't be, I don't believe this. I'm punching myself in the face for that. Huh? My ambassadorship has been revoked?
Ha 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 ha. Looks like, Grip, you're finally coming to grips with your new standing. Woohoo! You looks like he's turned docile again. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield. Huh! What a shame! I had so wanted to use my whip on him.
Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador.
Do you really think you can pull that on us now? We already whipped away the mask and even seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba.
Objection!
No! I won't be stopped now! He still intends to fight us? So what if I am no longer an ambassador? You still have any evidence on me? The fact remains that you cannot arrest me. I expected no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood. You say that I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater. But even if it's true that there was a knife in my bouquet, I left that bouquet in the theater. So anyone could have taken it out and there and used it, right? Besides, the claim that he was killed here itself is odd. After all, Wasn't this body discovered in Babal? Are you claiming that I carried this body all the way over there? Preposterous.
Objection!
I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Yeah. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready? Because this is no game. This is war. Alba's Alibi, Part 3. I killed Mr. Kochan in this theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. I left that bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there. Besides, Mr. Kochan's body was discovered in Babal, right? There is no way for me to have transported this body from the theater to Babal. Look, don't you think you have enough fun with me? You already stolen my ambassadorships from me. Would you have me surrender too? You have no plans to ever return to this country, isn't that right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you? Ha ha ha. As if I care. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, boot this guy out of the embassy and we can finally end everything. I know, and I will give it my all to see that he leaves in handcuffs. Without the Tental ambassador, he is just another witness. Yeah! Just another witness! Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get this guy! Get him good! I wonder if they understand that all I can do is present evidence to the testimony. I killed Mr. Kochan in this theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet.
Hold it!
That's right. As I explained earlier, the camera in the photo shows that you had the knife on your personage.
Objection!
You have no proof that the bouquet was prepared by me, isn't that right? Excuse me? The fact that there was a knife in the bouquet was something I wasn't aware of. What a pathetic excuse. The weapon that was used is one of your national treasure. It isn't exactly something anyone other than you could touch, let alone take. I allow some of my trusted subordinates to handle them. It could have been my secretary. You're an even bigger slimeball than I ever thought. You would push the guilt of Mr. Kochan murder onto one of your subordinates? Huh, in any case, the fact that the knife was in the bouquet means nothing. I left that bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there.
Hold it!
You still wish to deny your actions? And you still wish to deny reality and accuse me of murder? What? I'm not in denial. Even though he's not an ambassador anymore, he's still got a real bad attitude. I believe it's because he's no longer ambassador that he can't let himself speak freely. Well, if he's not holding anything back, then neither should I. Wait, for the sake of the case, please refrain from what I think you're about to do. Ha, quite the pair of frightening women you are, but I digress. Besides, Mr. Kochan's body was discovered in Babal, right?
Hold it!
Even if it was found in Babal, he was killed somewhere else.
Objection!
Stop bluffing because you can't prove what you're claiming. If this were court-martial in our country, you have already been removed from the room. Are you taunting us on purpose? Because I would be happy to show you my claws.
Hold it!
Hold on, Agent Long. Allow me to fight in my way with evidence. Ha ha ha! I was just joking. I'm not so easily ruffled by the likes of him. Too bad. Even though I'm no longer an ambassador, it still could have been an international incident. If you have the will to threaten us with that mouth of yours, then perhaps you can use it to return to the testimony. Very well. But to be fair, you should watch what you say as well. There's no way for it that transport this body from the theater to Babal. The pushcart.
Objection!
Actually, I do believe there was a way to transport the body out of the theater. Perhaps you should give this a look. What's that supposed to be? Footage from a security camera that captured the state of the immigration area. Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on it? Just letting you know that we're not the only ones watching your every movement. Huh. Thank you for the warning. Now if you could take a look at this section here. This lump here inside the pushcart. Do you know what's causing it? Should I? Because I don't. Huh. In that case, allow me to enlighten you. This is the cause of the unnatural lump under the claws in the pushcart. Coachen's body.
Take that!
What is the meaning of showing me that? It's to say that the unnatural bulge in the pushcart is Mr. Coachen's body. You had the Steel Samurai wheel his body away from the real crime scene. What a guess! But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it. I admit that for now, but it is but a hypothesis, however. If you can't prove it, then I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people. Hold it! Sorry I took so long, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. So he's back from Babal with a pushcart. Gummy? Detective Gumshoe? Is that the Steel Samurai pushcart? Oh, sorry. Detective Gumshoe, is that the Steel Samurai's pushcart? Yes, sir. It was found in the open-air stage area. So that's where you went. The detective spirit that Pops left me with. I thought I'd follow my guts and go with it, sir. So, Mr. Edgeworth, is this worth anything to the case? Yes. It just might play a major role in solving this case, detective. But something isn't right. I thought that the entire samurai family was in Alabast. Where exactly in the open-air stage area did you find this pushcart? Oh, I found it just lying there at the edge of the stage, sir. Oh, well, that's that for now. Let's leave that for now and examine the inside, detective. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's blood in the bottom. It's blood! This must be Mr. Coachen's blood, which only goes to prove that Mr. Coachen's body was indeed transported by this pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You kill Mr. Coachen at this theater and then place his body inside the pushcart. And then you force the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. I forced him to move the body into Alabast. What nonsense! Why would I bother to do such a thing? You were scheduled to approach to make a speech in Alabast, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babal. However, what if you moved the body to Alabast? Because it was your embassy, you could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence. And then you smuggled it out of Alabast. No! If I can show you how you moved the body from Alabast to Babal, then I win. But you can't. The security between the two countries is incredibly tight. I'll be the one to judge whether I can or cannot prove it. And so I ask you to provide us with testimony regarding your movement after you return to Alabast. Grrr. Now, Edgeworth! Have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved? To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis at this time. However, I don't believe I've made a mistake in my logic up until this point. Which means there is no question that cannot be answered, right? The Pyramidok statue was smuggled successfully through a brief flight through the air. So why shouldn't there be an answer as to how the body was moved? Which means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can exploit. Movements in Alabast. After we returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai shaking hands. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all.
Objection!
It looks like you left out a few things, such as the murder of the Master II. Furthermore, you left out the part about being with me in your office. Those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. I do so hate to waste time. What? You! It's not every life. Is not every life precious? Do you really need me to answer that for you?
Objection!
People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. Then you'd better try hard, because I doubt you'd find a single contradiction. He's really full of himself, isn't he? Yes, he is. How can he be so confident at a time like this? Ha 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 ha. Come, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. Movement in Alabast. Rebuttal. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai shaking hands.
Hold it!
So why was it only with the Steel Samurai? I thought the Pink Princess was also around. The Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip at the time, and the doctors recommended that she rest. Wow, so you do have a soft side after all. The pain of a bad hip. I suppose none of you can really understand how it feels. Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh? But is that just because you're normally all lunched over? You did need to keep up the act no matter what, I suppose. The point of this is not to discuss my back problems. For about 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in my office preparing for the speech. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared.
Hold it!
That Yatagarasu was just a trick that you had set up. A most amusing joke. And how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain in details for you. You arranged the spotlight in the rose garden so that when you were to take the stage, the audience would see the Yatagarasu's shadow. Oh, that is an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. You, what's it gonna take for you to fess up to anything? Very well then, let's move on to a different question. After the Yatagarasu appeared, what was the state of the rose garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. And then, once everyone was inside, well, I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office.
Hold it!
What happened after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this, however. Upon my return, I had to stroke of bad luck and bump into Mask Man.
Objection!
And I don't want to keep on repeating this either. But this name was the Mask II. Who cares what he was called? By the time he got the Prima Dog statue that he was supposed to steal, it had already been swapped for the fake. Talk about an unlucky man, being bludgeoned to death with a fake statue. Miss Von Karma is really letting her whip fly now. Hey, I think the scary part is her silence while she's doing it. She must be at her limit of her patience as well. But physical attacks are meaningless here. Only evidence will suffice. I can't find a single flaw in his argument. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he's actually guilty of anything. Are we finished here? Mouse Edgeworth, can you not come up with how the body was moved to Babao? Sir! Mr. Edgeworth! Even after proving so much, is he going to get away with it? Is this the end? Hold it! It appears that we made it just in time. It would be a great honor if you allow us to be your allies in battle. Here comes the Steel Samurai, the Pink Princess, and the Wet Iron Infant. Evil Magistrate! It's time for you to pay! It's the Steel Samurai? No, you're mistaken, for I am Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of New Old Tokyo. And this is Pink Princess Mommy. EDGEWORTH! No! The two people that I want to see the least. Larry! What are you two doing here? Remove his helmet. Way to show your gratitude, Edgy. We just wanted to yell, help, yeesh. I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust of my... Go away!
How can you be so mean to us, Edgy Poo? Oh, the three of us came to lend a hand, and this is how you treat us?
Well, isn't it grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant. Does that really matter right now? Hey, is it just me or is the Iron Infant completely soaked? Huh? Oh yeah, I found him in Babal, but he was in the middle of the pool. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Huh? Oh, it appears that we made it. Not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant in Babal. And he found it in the pool. I don't recall there being one in Babal. Oh, that. Well, I was in Alabas the whole time, so I have no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Babal. I thought I had lost him in the Rose Garden, but I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden? Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure, but I found him in... That's enough, Larry! The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries? Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. This is what I've been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the countries. The key to the route the Iron Infant took travel from the Alice to Babal is bilateral symmetry. The counterfeiting. That's right. This embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir? There is a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. It is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Cochin's body lies. Does something like that really exist, sir? An embassy built on bilateral symmetry, meaning that this is where we need to examine. Here.
Take that!
Yes, sir, I'll be back before you know it. Gumshoe away! It's too late. Doesn't matter what you do, it's all a waste of time. You will stay here with us and wait. Exclamation mark. This is Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth! I have no fear, Gumshoe is here, sir. There's a reservoir here, just like in the Rose Garden, underneath the stage. Just as I suspected. What is it? The two sides of this embassy are mirror image of each other. Which means there is also a pool at the corresponding location on the Babali side. Mr. Cochin's body was moved into Babal through the pool in Alabast.
Objection!
Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I would like to see more physical proof if you have any. The iron infant is positively soaked in water. Why do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of the pool, and not just any pool. It was the Bobblese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what we must be true. The water reservoir in the two courtyards are connected.
Objection!
And where's your proof that the two sides are connected? The proof is right there before your eyes. The half-drowned iron infant. What? This blasted doll? I'm here! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Hey. Don't tell me you guys figured everything out without me. We did, thanks to this hero of justice's son. Even if he's just a doll, he managed to have foiled the villain. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, look, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of unlikely that the body just happened to have passed on to Babal. This guy's a doll, and he's small, so I can't believe it. He made it, but... He has a point. Yes, that's right. I'm glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe? You see, Mr. Prosecutor, our chase after this man is far from over. Agent Long? Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now? He's not. He's realized I flawed my argument, and he's helping me move the logic alone. In which case, I should return the favor and find him an answer. And another thing, Mr. Cochran's body was found in his office in Babal. So what happens to his body after he was transported to the open air stage? Mr. Alba's an accomplice in Babal, remember? Oh, you mean China. Right. With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office.
Objection!
Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body? He's right. Miss Shinna would drown if she did that. It's hard to imagine that she swarmed up through the connecting pipe. It looks like your hypothesis about the body was moved until is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musing of an accusatory man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage for the 5th time. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body. What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movement. Yeah. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in Babal? Oh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. Get rid of the water? That's it! Now, I believe this time we really are done, right? Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you've thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move a body through the water? That is completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me? The reason I say that is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean, there wasn't any water? Judge, just what it sounds like. Tonight's event made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. The fires.
Take that!
Tonight, the Yatigarasu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border.
Objection!
Huh! So what? The water level went down. The reservoirs were connected. Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a critical game-changing moment. A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route to use to smuggle the body, and that route will lead to your defeat. Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort,
You still can't really call that a smuggling route.
Huh, I know that.
Ha ha ha! I should have figured that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway?
I'll have you know these pools are extremely deep. And there are no ladders or footholds along the wall either.
It would be difficult for Shina to hold the body and climb up out of the pool.
Ladders or footholds along the wall? There was no need for such things.
What do you mean?
If one were to use a certain something, they could go up or down in the pool at will.
Oh, it looks like you've got an answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already.
The way in which Miss Shina and the body were able to rise up to ground level, if there was a way to control the water level, that could be the way the body was moved. This was used so that the body and Miss Shina could move up and down in the pool. The fountain spouts.
Take that!
Miss Alba used the fountain spouts in a manner of speaking.
He used the fountain spouts? How so?
The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Shina and the body were lifted upwards by the buoyancy in water. The fire on the Babbly side and the firefighting effort, these were set in motion all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Cochin's body.
Yeah.
Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spout in advance in preparation for things to come. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the rose garden and pushed it along with the Iron Infant and Mr. Cochin's body into the pool. At this time, Miss Chinas was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babal. Since she made to the open air stage pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin, when the firefighter used the water in that pool, the water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the two pools was exposed. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabas into Babal. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply reopened the fountain spout once more. And the water level rose up to its original level along with Miss Shina and the body. After that, Miss Shina used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There is an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see, even with her small frame, she could easily transport Mr. Cochin's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved.
No!
Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you?
I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back.
You accuse me of moving the body across country lines. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. Ex-Ambassador, him? Yeah, you missed a bit. Since we found a lot had happened. Like he was trying to leave the country for the 5th time, and during the 3rd attempt, he was to be just like in Die Hard, his diplomatic immunity has been revoked. So here's what happened. This videotape from the KGA incident was proved useful. We received Manny Cochin with the card with the order that he was to kill CCU. Who sent the message to remove the diplomatic immunity? That was Lang. Because when he figured out that we couldn't touch him because of his extraterritorial rights, he used his contact with Interpol to contact the imperial family of Kodopio himself and show him this. This was proof back then that the Principality of Codopia was involved. And in Alabast, when they show this, they try to cover their mess by removing Alba as ambassador. So that's how he got his. That's why he's called ex-ambassador now. So now we found that the counterfeit plate were inside the fake Babali statue. This is the wound that he claimed that he had fighting the Master II, saying that he used his own shear to stab him in the neck or in the clavicle as self-defense. This is a photo of him and Paleno with at the theater in the neutral zone. Here we can see in Alba's bouquet, there's the murder weapon hidden in plain sight. But at this point, the murder has already been done. And we figured out later that he used the cart to move the body. So this is where the Manicochin is. Unbeknownst to Larry, he carried the dead body into Alabast. And when he was at the Rose Garden, he used it to smuggle him back into Babal by using the buoyancy of the pushcart. As you can see, there's blood in the middle, at the bottom of the cart. The nitty-gritty, what does the old man want now? Proof, I believe, is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any words to say whether or not any of what you said really happened. He wants proof? What are we going to do, Mr. Edgeworth? There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipe tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open stage area, so too did I found another item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. This was another thing that was smuggled over to the Babal's open air stage area. The pick.
Take that!
And what exactly is this? You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the Babali side will be your undoing. A guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were? Much to your chagrin, perhaps, but this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it after all. But since you don't, allow me to show you what this fragment from the stage area belongs to. The Alabastan knife. Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manicochin. On the handle of this knife, there is a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Now, let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick in that open slot. Perfect match. It's a perfect fit. I assume that the petal must have fallen off of the flower during Mr. Cochin's murder, and then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart along with Mr. Cochin's body. That's an interesting story, nothing more. Did I mention that it was wet?
Objection!
Oh, I assure you it's more than just a story, because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet, you say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open-air stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theater wind up in the open-air stage on the Babali side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words for explaining this, as this petal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool on through into Babal. Impossible! The people of Shangfa have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alpha. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy. This Why?
Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning. When you took your first life, no matter how you may plot or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you.
Objection!
You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. ...
You know, I don't think this guy is going to ever admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth, because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit when they lost, I don't believe those kinds of people really exist because everyone breaks eventually. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his own crimes. Mr. Alba, I request you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line.
To be continued. We're almost done. This is the final line, the final testimony, Quercus Alba. March 15, 3:33 in the morning. Oh my god. When we entered the stage, when we entered the building in the first time, it was 5 in the afternoon. Now it's already 3:33 in the morning. And we still haven't let him off the building. We've been arguing for almost more than 2 hours. Wow.
Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more.
As if there is anything else for me to testify about.
I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I would like to hear about your movement before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis.
Very well, I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show.
Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key of this investigation.
The Steel Samurai show. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? These moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. We're gonna press that, because I'm pretty sure I know what it's gonna say.
So you were in the theater proper watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you?
Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai.
Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool. It's the Steel Samurai who was cool. Yeah, the Steel Samurai special finishing move today was really something, huh? Hey, Edgy! Who is she? Who's this super cute girl? That's the first time he meets her. She's been standing here this whole time and only now he notices her? Her name is Kate Faraday and she's helping me with my investigation. Also, she's 17, so fuck off. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, so okay, I'm Larry. Silence in the peanut gallery! There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle, you got that? I know. This is the end for that man there. Ha ha ha! No, that's the kind of thing I like to hear. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, we have acknowledgement. He's calling us Mr. Edgeworth for the first time.
Wow.
I'll leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Have no fear. I will finish the job. This really is the end game. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lie.
Okay, I'm gonna just press the thing I want to press because I know what the contradiction is.
Hold it!
I agree, today will be a day to remember. Especially when we finally make you pay for all the wrongs you committed.
What?
Hey! That's what the Steel Samurai says when he defeats the evil magistrate. Actually, that line was just something I ad-libbed. You may act all surprised, but naturally, you remember this line, don't you?
Of course I do. I just now understand how the evil magistrate felt, that's all.
Then allow me to make you identify with the evil magistrate some more. Hey, that makes you the Steel Samurai, huh? Well, if you had to complete the analogy, I suppose then, yes. And I do believe it's about time to bring the curtains down with bang.
I wonder if Mr. Alba was really there watching the show.
I don't think so, because the only thing he had to commit the murder was during the show. And the only time he could have placed the body into the pushcart was during the scenes when the Iron Infant was not on stage.
Then that means that by the end of the stage show, are you saying that the body was already in the pushcart by then? Oh shit! Yes, we see the lump. No way! You mean I was pushing a dead body around? That you used me in such a foul manner is unforgivable, evil magistrate.
Well put, Steel Samurai. And now I will show to all those present just who is the evil magistrate that the Steel Samurai must defeat.
Okay, so that wasn't it.
Hold it!
Well, I remember the contents of the show as well myself.
That's nice. That's nice. Mouse Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture.
I wasn't planning to let him.
Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And didn't you think the climactic scene of today's show was just totally awesome? Yes, I remember that well, and that spectacular special move. The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate. The early summer rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever, yeah.
Is that how it went? Oh, I totally forgot about that. How can you forget your own special moves? That's the special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear.
Yes, and today was the first time they show it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move?
I suppose you're correct. If you could, please elaborate on this point for me.
One of the scenes was of his never-before-seen early summer rain jab. Nope. Because the spear was bent, he never could do it.
Objection!
There you go.
The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is this your final answer?
Objection!
You little irritating gnat! Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over?
That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this.
The samurai spear? What about it?
This spear actually never made it on stage today.
Excuse me?
Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Eh? Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special moves was tonight?
Yeah, it was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Ah!
Correct. Because he couldn't use the spear, a last-minute exchange was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known the move was you would have known the move that was used.
Quercus Alba, you didn't even watch a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you?
Aha, so if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibility that he was busy killing Mr. Kochim instead.
So where were you during the show? I demand an answer now. Just what is so funny this time? You're so sloppy, and so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watched the show, or most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? Ah, you see, during the show I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when that dramatic scene was played out on stage.
That is the lousiest, lamest excuse I have ever heard in my life, pal. Just because he got the name of the move wrong, we can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all.
As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I'd wanted to watch the entire show, honest to God. As a Steel Samurai fan, for someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan, ever.
Hold it!
Who said that? Who was that there just now? It will be I, young lady. Steel Samurai. Larry! What are you doing interrupting me like that?
Edgy! Please, hold for a second, I beg.
You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Samaniac. A Steel Samaniac.
What exactly is a Steel Samaniac, pal? I believe he meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac.
No, that's what I meant, Steel Samaniac. That's the name of the fan base. I wrote it, it's canon now. And trust me, I know a real fan when I see one, because I'm the Steel Samurai. No, you're not. I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai. Only Will Powers was the true Steel Samurai. What are you getting so worked up over, Mr. Edgeworth? Are you a closet fan? It appears that the real Steel Samurai recognized me as a fan. As well as he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show, filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart.
The sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker.
Getting the name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Mr. Manny Cochin.
You know what, Gramps? You're really something else.
I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai, but what is it for?
Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summon rain jab. That move is a bit of a secret that only a small portion of the staff knew about.
Wait! It was a secret? Larry, wait, what did you say?
Did I say something stupid again?
Did you say that the early summon rain jab was actually a secret?
Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room whiteboard. Steel Samurai versus Jamming Ninja. Yeah, there's a whiteboard. This is where the push cart and the Iron Infant was. Early summer rain jab. That's kind of how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kind of pointless. All of you Steel Samurai actor are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. Long story short, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kind of pretended that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it would be bad if someone found out we changed on the move, so we made it a secret.
So basically a gag order was issued for publicity's sake.
It almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move.
Objection!
Hold those lips of yours still!
What the heck, old man?
I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's also very tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time, much like a kid's show.
Objection!
Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. How dare you! I suspect that you already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony. So now you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to be read into a behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show.
Don't ever think about trying to slither your way out of this, Quercus Alba.
You were the one who said it yourself that the name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start. So just what are you driving at?
That the name of the move you just told us was never used in the show or said aloud.
Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move?
Because I can only think of one way you could have known.
Quercus Alba, this is the only way you could have known the name of the special move. You saw it, you asked about it, you thought it up. You saw it! You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. So you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard.
So that means that Mr. Alba was in there at some point, right? But what's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means.
There is another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So we can't afford to let it slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Kochen's murder. The pushcart. The pushcart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. And it was finally pushed there, along with the iron infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show ended, it went into Alabas along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage.
So basically, the killer had to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show.
Precisely.
Ah! Oh, but wait! What if, and this is just a what if the murder took place right in the dressing room? What do you mean, Kay?
I have to admit she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people.
Slipping undetected into a private dressing room then would be as simple as pie. The killer must have come up with the idea to move the body with a pushcart then too.
Correct, thus making the theater's dressing room the ideal location for the murder of Manny Kochin. Quercus Alba, during the show you went down to the dressing room, and I want to know why. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room.
I knew it! I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest!
Objection!
Not so fast.
What is it now?
Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself?
Explain? What is there to explain?
I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for direction, but when I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard.
You punk! Still trying to get out of this, huh? Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, is there anything you can do to stop him?
I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything.
I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps... Agent Long, I believe an investigation of the dressing room is in order. In question is in order. It's possible that we may find new evidence there. Alright! You're back? Great. So we're at the final leg of the investigation. So we're gonna have Agent Lang investigate the dressing room.
Yeah, if Mr. Edgeworth pokes around in here, I'm sure he'll find some new facts, pal.
Oh, and if we use Little Thief, we may even learn something from her recreation.
We don't need to do any of that.
What? Wolfie, how could you? What was the dressing room? The dressing room was where was the pushcart, where the errant infant was, where they what they used to carry the body over. And also there was the whiteboard where there was the move that was supposed to be a debuting for the Steel Samurai. It was a new move using the spear. And that was there was a gag order on that. And for some reason, Alba, when we tried to say what he was doing during the show, he said, "Oh, I watched the whole thing. I remember everything by heart." And when we questioning on that, when it comes to the finishing move, he said early summer rain jab, and that was not the move that was used on stage. It was still the sushi slice. Woofy, how could you?
I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men really are something else.
And they found nothing?
There's only one thing I can say to you, sis, and it's that they found nothing, and that's it.
I guess you're right. If they had found something, they would have reported it to us.
They couldn't find anything because there was nothing there to find.
And if there was no info to feed into Little Thief, then I can't do much to help either. Is this the end? The murder took place in the theater, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. Is there no other course of action left to us? It would appear that your hand of cards have turned out to be a bust. Now, if you will excuse me for the 7th time, because of you people, I missed my flight. It's 3:30 in the morning. Now I must make haste to arrange for a new one. Hold it! Who said that? Who is it this time?
Hold it! Hold it right there, you whippersnappers!
What now? First Larry and now you?
What is with that scary mobster-like scowl on your face, Edgy Poo? Don't treat me like some sort of nuisance! I've been meaning to say this, but you keep talking about things I don't get at all! Your real living and dating the same depressing, lonely dust is what I'm about to cry in.
Why did you have to speak up right at this instant?
But you know what, Edgy Poo? Cheer up! Because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing!
The most wonderful thing? From you?
It's so super special that I couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know. My special present of love to my sweet Edgy Poo, are you ready? Is this?
It's a samurai dog. But this one is a different than the one that we have. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot.
It's a box of those samurai dogs, right?
Yes! Oh, Edgy Poo! Here, go on and eat one and you'll feel as right as rain.
Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Francisca dot dot dot. Lang dot dot dot. The box with the blood in it or something. Well, yeah, there's the sticker has a red dot on the flag of Japan. Because usually it's white on white. There's no color on the flag, but this one has one. But because it looks like a Japanese flag, it looks hidden.
Are we through here?
Why did everyone get so quiet all of a sudden? Edgy Poo! Tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you. I'm not one to hand out the snacks willy-nilly, you know. No, sir! The thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good if you were nice and full one day in my dream to serve you one of my own made food. I mean, isn't that the desire of every woman to make sure that the beloved never goes hungry? That's why I wanted to experience it. Don't have any but...
Okay, so...
It's not one to hand out snacks willy-nilly, you know? No, sir! The thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good if I fed you and made sure you were nice and full. One day, it's my dream to serve you some of my own homemade food. I mean, isn't it the desire of every woman to make sure that their beloved never goes hungry? And that's what I wanted to experience. I'll tell you one thing though, a long time ago, they used to say that I could make the most delicious meal out of every ingredient you threw in front of me. Oh, was I a star in the kitchen back then? And I was
Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her? They did her in the anime, it was exactly like that. There is no power on earth that can force that woman into silence.
But I'm so sick and tired of it! All of you people do is look down on me! Even this box of samurai dogs played me for a fool! It had a special design on its fan, like the Japanese flag, so I thought it was special. But when I ate one, it tasted just like all the rest. Oh, it made me so mad.
Wait, a special box with an Inomaru-like fan on it? I've never heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before. However, there it is. The red sun on his fan is filled in. Is it possible? Could it be? After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the dressing room floor. However, there is no such thing as a Inomaru dog. Inomaru dogs taken from the dressing room, the fan's red sun is filled in for some reason. This contradiction of facts between something that should not exist and yet does. The rays from this red sun may be just what we need to point us in the right direction.
A present?
The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. This is a flashback. We are supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. I had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them. Samurai dogs. Boxes of samurai dogs were sitting in the pushcart. So yeah, the pushcart was supposed to be filled with samurai dogs. But in order to move medications, they have to be moved elsewhere. In the logic box, I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Kochin at this theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. The killer placed Kochin's body into the pushcart in the dressing room. And then, you forced the Seal Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. It's time to piece the final pieces of this logic puzzle together. No matter how fragile or small the connection may be. Once we've found them all, the way to the truth will be revealed. Alright, so here we have 3 pieces. Samurai dogs, body in the pushcart. The killer used the pushcart to transport the body, which means that they had to remove the samurai dogs from within first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled up on the dressing room floor were the most likely taken out of the pushcart by the killer. Samurai dogs were removed, unpushed on the dressing floor by the killer, make room for the body. Hinomaru dogs, samurai dogs were removed. That which should not exist, this box of samurai dogs with an Inomaru on it. If this red sun was filled in when the killer was busy removing samurai dogs from the pushcart, then it's proof that the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it to be. Win the old bag? Thank you. Bows. Exclamation mark. What you have given to me is surely something very special.
Edgy Poo!
Mr. Edgeworth, are you sure you're feeling okay, sir?
Mr. Alba, as I suspected, you killed Mr. Cochin in the dressing room.
How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate with some definitive evidence.
That arrogance, that self-confidence. You believe that you've erased every piece of evidence that could have incriminated you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good.
Ha! You're bluffing.
Oh. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sounds like you finally found them. You finally found the fangs we need to go after this guy's jugular. So tell us, what about that box of samurai dogs is going to put the old man away?
The trace evidence that will bring him down, why, it's here, of course.
The Red Sun.
This box of samurai dogs with an Inomaru fan on it. This should never have existed. So I want you all to take a good look at this red spot. It's a single drop of blood.
Huh? What?
Blood, you say?
Agent Long, I'd like this blood analyzed post-haste.
I've got to admit, I'm a bit surprised, but I can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey, you! Get this down to the lab, pronto!
But why was there blood on that box to begin with? If we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said that you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcart, correct?
Yeah. You have a great memory, Edgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, you know what I mean. So to make sure everybody could see him, I had to pile some stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the cart.
If what Larry says is true, then what were the boxes doing on the floor?
I see. The killer took him out in order to place the body in the pushcart.
Exactly. And that is when I believe the victim's blood found its way onto that box.
But when my men investigated that room, not a single box of samurai dogs was in there. Because embassy staff members have already confiscated them.
Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of the murder.
It's a good thing Miss Oldbag managed to steal that one box before they got to them, huh? Looks like Miss Oldbag also managed to put this great thief to shame.
What a scandalous way of putting that! I didn't steal! I received it for myself!
Workers Alba, I would say this was one very fatal oversight on your part.
Sorry to rain on your little love fest, however.
How can he be so self-confident in a no-win situation from him like this?
Even if that blood turns out to belong to Mr. Cochin, then what?
So, Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not ready to call it quits yet, huh?
The sole piece of evidence that was left at the scene of the crime. That alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room.
And? You say like that it means something.
Huh? Excuse me, sirs?
The forensics guys comes in.
Report! What were the results of the analysis?
Sir, the analysis came back and confirmed that the red substance is blood.
I knew it. With this, Quirkus Alba.
Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might humor my question.
Your question?
The one from before, have you forgotten? Even if that is Mr. Cochin's blood, what difference would it make?
Like we already told you, it proved that the crime scene was the dressing room.
But it doesn't prove that I am your killer, does it?
That's...
He has a very good point. The blood on that box doesn't prove that Mr. Alba is the killer.
Then, this evidence, it's meaningless.
That can't be! We were so close, sir!
I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's got to be something we can do.
We finally found a solid piece of evidence. There must be something I could expose him with.
Dot dot dot. Ah! I can't think of a single thing. Now, if you'll excuse me for the final time. Hold it! Who was that? It's too late. I won't allow anyone to stop me now.
It wasn't me, pal.
And it wasn't me this time either.
It wasn't me either.
It was me! Forensics guy, why did you... because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir. You interrupted me. Just because I don't have a name. I'm a human being too, you know. I matter. Piece of shit. There's more? Yes, there's more.
Hurry up and spit it out.
Yes, sir. That blood I mentioned. It's not the same blood type as the victim's blood.
Huh?
No. What? What?
What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his, then who the hell's is it?
I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim, sir. What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's what anymore. Neither do I. My, what an amusing turn of events. That blood drop proves something to be true, all right, namely my words. And which one of your words would that be? The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. That blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Need I remind you that the blood got onto that box long before he entered my embassy? What sort of nonsense?
Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder.
And it's still red, so it's fresh. If it was old blood, it would have been brown. So you would like to believe. But what if someone preparing the samurai dogs has a small nosebleed? What then?
I guess that's possible. Damn it, have we been wasting our time on the red herring?
The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough.
Workers, I'll buy you bastard!
Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again! I've wasted enough time here with you and you have your answer. Now let me through.
Alba! Doesn't matter where you run off to, you'll never escape me. Someday, I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see! And all of Interpol will be behind me, working to see to it that that day comes.
Do you know what your word sounds like to me? This sounds like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt.
Lang, you have a gun, just shoot him? Dude. He's gonna be accused of assault, even if he is an Interpol agent. Like, even if Kay wanted to punch him in the face, is there really the extent of all we can do? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case? Or is there another possibility, someone else other than the victim? Just when I thought I am backed into a corner, it is I who have been backed into one. In a situation like this, what would that man do? What would he, who can turn into any desperate situation around, do? The man in the blue suit, that defense attorney, my long friend. Turn it around. That's it. I must turn my way of thinking around. It's not whose blood is this. It's whose blood could get into the box like this. And if I think about it that way, if the blood got into the box when the body was being placed into the pushcart, then the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at the time. And there is only one person that could be. Well, I must praise you for trying so hard.
It's because of you kids that I was removed from center stage, and will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom like what the raven feels as it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me, not now or ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me.
Objection!
Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you.
What do you mean?
Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful.
Pitiful? How so?
Quercus Alba, your wings were clipped long ago! Exclamation mark. And for someone who is trying to fly away on them without noticing that fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe you.
Ha! Mere words.
What do you mean by his wing are clipped, Mr. Edgeworth? Just what you think it means, Kate. We have already caught him in our trap a while back. With an incredibly powerful, definitive piece of evidence.
Hey, to Mr. Prosecutor, care to speak in English? What are you talking about? What piece of evidence?
The piece I speak of is, of course, this drop of blood.
But we know that's not the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant to the case at all.
Miss Von Karma, I believe that exactly why it's very important to the case. And the part that is the most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. Exclamation mark. You're looking a little pale. Good. Then I believe you are already aware of what I mean.
Then you know who the blood belongs to?
Of course I do. This piece of evidence is the irrefutable proof that will stop the killers in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to this person.
Quercus Alba, age 72.
Take that!
The blood on the red sun on this box belongs to you, Quercus Alba.
What? What?
Why is this blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim. The blood fell into the box when Mr. Coachen's body was being loaded into the pushcart. At that time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer.
So that's what you mean. If the blood doesn't belong to the victim, then there's only one other person it could belong to?
Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion.
But Mr. Coachin was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding?
What if during the murder, Mr. Coachin had fought back?
You mean if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Coachin managed to wound Mr. Alba?
Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves that he was bleeding dead. What is the piece of evidence that shows that Mr. Alba was probably bleeding at the time? His wound.
Take that!
I don't have the shears. I have the wound. Mr. Alba, you bear on your body a great wound.
What was? That was from the Mask the Second attacked me with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, that happened way after he was in the dressing room. But is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it, so I can't just accept that as a fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors?
Objection!
You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility.
You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You've managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as the smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are one of a kind criminal.
Objection!
I am the master of my fear. However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing.
You believe I've overlooked something?
You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Coachin? And that is was caused here in one. And that it was caused here in one of the theater's dressing rooms, right? Yes, that is correct. I would like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound and one that could only have come from a blade. I wonder where you would propose that such a weapon came from.
This theater was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into this area with a weapon of any sort. Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring the Alabastian knife in the bouquet, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort.
Ah, but as long as you can't prove that what that other way is, all your talk about Mr. Cochin stabbing me is pure nonsense. So, if that other way does exist, you better hurry and tell me now.
With pleasure.
Wait, what?
This piece of evidence shows up how Mr. Cochin brought a weapon into this theater.
The key!
Among law enforcement, this key is known as the Yatagarasu's key.
The key!
That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago. It is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife. Meaning that under the guise of a key, it could have been easily brought into the theater.
No!
You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped out the blood and placed it back in Mr. Cochin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that safe, there was a document about Kodomian paper signed by Mr. Cochin. In order to make it look like Mr. Cochin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife blade with your wound, Mr. Quercus Alba?
Everybody's looking at him.
And that is what some may call the coup de grace. And then he bows in his salute.
Impossible! You can't take me down! Swine! All of you! Especially Manny Cochin! This is all because of that man's betrayal! He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador, which is why he deserved to die while bearing the guilt of all of my crimes for me. That's why I sent out the Yantigorasu's card and how this incident was born. Manny was supposed to be the smuggling ring's leader who was killed by the Yantigarasu. But I had yet another reason, yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling prosecutors and that damn puppy of an inspector too. Huh? Shakes his head. Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there's one more question I forgot to ask. ... This country's, or Alabas, which country court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. Edgeworth! And he faints. March 17, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
You! This is it! The big day. It's Mr. Alba's trial today.
And next week, he's scheduled to stand trial in his own country of Alabast. Francisca is heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving a full course of whiplashes at it.
Having to face Miss Von Karma in court right after facing you, sir? I don't even want to think of that. What would be like? I got a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted to the courthouse. And boy, he looked about as gloom as I do the day before I get my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking. That flight attendant, even Mr. Portsman, were all Mr. Alba's secret agents.
Correct. That smuggling ring was the common thread between all of the incidents. Chamomile was to provide support during the smuggling ops, during using her job as an attendant. And Mr. Portsman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favor.
Ah, go you airlines. And even the prosecutor's office. No one was safe from the smuggling ring, huh, sir?
I suspect there are even more members of this ring spread throughout the world.
Yeah, sounds like such a big op that I can't even begin to imagine what it's like.
Scratch his head. What is it, detective?
Nothing. It's just... Well, come to think of it, Mr. Ernest Amano's trial is also scheduled for later today, sir.
Oh, I'm aware of that. Mr. Amano has been working with the smuggling ring now for over 10 years. He used the Amano Group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. I owe Mr. Amano a debt of gratitude, but he must pay his debt to society.
Well, with the arrest of both Mr. Alba and Mr. Amano, I guess that about wraps up the KGA incident as well, huh?
I suppose so. The real killer in the KG8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Kochan. And 7 years ago, the killer in the second KG8 incident was Mac Rel. Those two facts are the unshakable truth, however. It seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and other truths from us. And I will expose it all at the trials today.
You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir?
CCU and Date Man. Perhaps now these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the way, I received some gifts from Ambassador Paleno. Shrimp, crab, beef. I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you.
You mean it, sir? My God. Seriously, sir? What? Wait, actually, I don't think I want them anymore. The way you're holding them, don't tell me they're just coupons, sir.
Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became Codopia again, its economy has changed.
Really?
And it seems that Ambassador Paleno has reaped a few benefits of his own for it. He has been announced as the official ambassador of the newly reunified Codopia.
Question mark? Ah, but what a pity! Even though every item we sent is a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant Kay. Wait, that's not what I said. Mr. Edgeworth, please let me have them, sir. Actually, come to think of it, where is Kay? How come she's still not here?
She's hidden inside the sofa.
Hey, you gotta be more alert than that.
I can't believe you didn't notice. I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit. Wait, where? When? Oh, okay, I get it. So there were 3 lines. So the first 2 lines were for Edgeworth, and then it was... So I could hear the higher pitched letters for a female. Oh, really?
Oh, what a pity. Even though every interest he sent is a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant Kay.
So you can tell them apart.
I didn't notice you or realize that voice was you. Like she says, ferocious love blooms with each new spring.
Agent Long, a pleasant surprise to see you here.
It's been a long time since I set foot in a courthouse, but I wasn't going to miss watching the guy who screwed up my country's finals get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I want to see you in action in court.
Is that so, Agent Long?
We flushed out all of the counterfeit bills, so Zhang Fa is finally at peace again. And it's all thanks to you, so I just want to say thanks.
Wow, never thought we'd see the day old Wolfie says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth.
I should be the one thanking you, Agent Long.
And then he bows. Salute.
If you had negated Mr. Alba's extraterritorial rights, I would not have been able to bring him to trial.
They cleaned up that money really fast. Well, most of the money was burned in the embassy itself. So the rest that was in circulation, it was easy to spot. They just have to burn a corner of the paper, and if it burns green, let it burn. You know?
I believe the victory belongs to the both of us in this case.
A share of victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong. I'll still never forgive you prosecutors. And I have zero interest in that truth thing you talk about in court. I've always done things my own way, and that's not about to change. You got that?
I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job.
Yeah, and if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. But as for me, I'm going to get that person no matter what.
All right. It's about time for the trial to start. I will see you later.
I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. I'm looking forward to this. I prepare a whole ton of ticker tape for today's victory, sir.
Tape. I'll help throw some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins. Oh, the confetti when there's at the end of every trial.
Hope you've got enough, because I'm going to go call my men up as well.
Winston and Gaspard Bainscurzent is defense attorney. Yeah, I know.
Poor guys. A modest amount of ticker tapes goes a long way. The scene shifts to the courtroom, and the final act of this long tale begins. Now it's Anoto, the legend of the great thief Yatagarasu. It's the story of those who choose to dedicate their lives to the pursuit of the truth. Prosecutor are those who seek a guilty verdict for the defendant they meet. And to that end, you have no choice but to win by any means necessary. That creed was forced onto me since I was a kid. However, I no longer think that was all we prosecutors are. It is because... Yeah, he's standing on the prosecutor's bench. There's nobody else on the defense. Even though I've only been away from the courtroom for a short while, I feel as though it's been a lifetime since I set foot in one. And today, more than any other day, I feel the fight within me rising. Direction, planning scenario, Takeshi Yamazaki. Here we have Roda Tenero. When he tied up Edgeworth. Yeah, it's all black and white. I'm really in Mr. Edgeworth's debt for the other day. Thanks to him, I'm still free to serve in the friendly blue skies. Oh, so about my suitcases. I've been selling them on the internet and they've become a real sensation. Thanks to the praise the art world has lavished on my work at being truly postmodern, the airline has chosen me to design their new line of Go-You jumbo jets. Just think, someday you will be able to take a ride in my pink-walled, yellow-seated jet. Yuck! So, Mr. LeBlanc? Edgeworth, that rudeness of a rude man. Because of him, my time and money. More importantly, I received most fan treasure recently. It's wasted. The Prividoc statue of the Principality of Conopia. It weighs a bit light in my hands, but the Ambassador Paleno was most generous. I think there are some people that don't like the first Ace Attorney investigation game very much. Not as great as Amateur games, but I do like Ace Attorney investigation. Incredible. Yeah. Von Karma. We finally caught Agent X Killer, and I was able to witness Mr. Alba's teary eyes. It feels good to finally bring everything to a close. I received another offer from Interpol to work another case in cooperation with them. However, the Conopian courts awaits.
Canopia's air is supposed to be very fresh, so my whip should find new vigor there. So now we have Kay at Gatewaller Land with Meekins. Oh, that's from Meekins. This little patrolman has been fired as of today, sir. I thought I was safe since we found the gun I have dropped. But I had noticed that I had dropped my police badge too. I guess what really broke the camel's back was I couldn't find my badge. My little life suddenly tripped into a dark black hole, sir. I think I'll go to the courthouse and file a complaint with Ruffles, man. Fire from the bailiff. Oh no, fire from the cop, and that's how he became a bailiff. Oh, here's Emma Sky. I was actually hoping to talk with Mr. Edgeworth a bit more than I did. But I've got to get going and return to Europe. Spring break is over. I still got a long way to go and a lot of stuff to study there. Next time I'll help Mr. Edgeworth on the case. I'm going to do it as a real forensics scientist. I'm sure he's going to need all the help I can give him. Scientifically speaking, of course. She'll be back in the second game. And then in the Apollo Justice trilogy as a detective. Here's Laura Pops. Yeah, well, it'll take a long time. Because the kidnapping was staged, I was let off easy. But I won't be going outside much anytime soon. But that's really okay. The only prisoner forever trap is in the cage of love. The guard down at the detention center, well, when he's on guard duty, oh, he has such a cold look in his eyes, just like that one prosecutor. Oh, stop it, Lauren. When will you ever learn to stop being a prisoner of love? She's a detective at first, but the last game, she's a forensic investigator. Yes, Spirit of Justice, she is. Gumshoe, push the guard. Oh, the judge. It appears there are all sorts of drama that takes place outside of the courtroom. Since we judges are here day in and day out, I only heard a few rumors, but apparently Mr. Edgeworth teamed up with a thief and became a detective. Maybe I should team up with a bailiff and try to become a lawyer or something. Music, Noriki Wadare, Yasuku Yamada, Yasufumi Fukuda. Okay, so here's Maggie Bird. Sound effect Dota Ando. The judge is a lawyer. She came back. Security officer's helmet. Phew, I barely escaped that yet again. Yeah, but boy, were we lucky to have Mr. Edgeworth help us out, huh? Yeah, but because I lost the key, I got fired from my security guard job. Don't let it get down. Let it down, Maggie. You still got me. You're right, sir. I won't be sad. I'm going to pick myself up and get through this. I wonder what my next job should be. Ooh, this is actually kind of fun. Ford is now... Oops, that's not my line anymore. Localization Special Tank, Yoko Kawakami, Shu Yamamoto, Daisuke Takashi, John Earnhardt. Oh, Paleno. Why not come to Konopia for your summer vacation? We have coupons aplenty. Right now, our embassy is proud to present our Let's Investigate a Murder show. Although recreating that particular case has created a few small fires on its own, when we had a few problems with the fire marshals, but the next event will be great. It will be an attraction entirely titled Capture the Yatakarasu. Of course, I hope to enlist Kay's help in creating our latest attraction. He was recreating the fires. What a maniac. Oh, Larry Butts. I can't believe that Mindy ditched me and went to Japan. But it's okay because that's how I met Miharu. We're planning to go to Paris soon and start a business. We're going to sell Blue Ocean dogs. They'll sell not hotcakes hot dogs for sure. A blue hot dog in a blue bun. I guarantee you'll turn your tongue and your face blue. I know I'm not really the type to work a lot, or at all really, but... Oh, so I noticed that I really haven't seen the guy in the blue suit at all recently. I wonder what's up. Anyway, the next time we meet, I'm gonna make him eat one of my dogs. Feeny! Why don't you try my hot dog? Your tongue won't turn that much blue. Is it bad?
Yeah, it's bad. I gave testimony in court today as a member of the Yatagarasu.
Yo, Mr. Bad, you look well, all things considered. By the way, have you noticed the element within the ring that began moving?
They're probably fighting over who should succeed, over who should be the next boss. Although, to be honest, I wish I could forget I've ever heard of that smuggling ring.
Lang Ji says, thoroughly bite the poisonous snakes from head to tail. No one runs afoul of the law and escapes this wolf's fang. I'll get you all yet.
Ah, youth. When did I become so old, I wonder? I've become noticing the gray hairs in my beard more. I'm thinking of retiring my mirror.
Does this take place after the third Ace Attorney game? Yeah, it's between the Phoenix Wright trilogy and the Apollo Justice trilogy. Oh, here comes the windbag. The windy arrow bag.
I was the Big Princess and Big Badger on the span of 2 days. Talk about busy. But it's alright because I got a letter from my beloved EDGEWORTH. Please take care of your hip, and when you wish to speak first, take off your headpiece. What does it mean, that statement? It's not like I enjoy being under a headpiece every time I see him. I've been an alien, then some creepy fuzzy big animal, and that was the Big Princess, a greedy war justice. Ever since I used it to astonish in my head, I was never like an old customer, something that sounds like a terrible idea. Alright.
Interesting, since I didn't think Larry gave up on being Laurice. Yeah, he was Laurice. He gave up being Laurice and he got back being Laurice after that. March 17, 4:33 p.m. Oh, that was quick. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Whoop! Woo! I felt so much better now that the trial is over. And as always, your legal prowess was top-notch, sir.
Yeah, nothing beats the look on Mr. Alba's face when you revealed the ring's secrets. I was amazed. You're like a totally different person when you step into a courtroom.
Mr. Edgeworth is always 10 times fiercer in court.
Based on the information Mr. Alba offered up, they begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Francisca and Agent Long.
So what are your plans now, Kay?
Huh? Oh, well, we've taken care of the creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure. I love having a party in his office. Yeah, kinda. Hey, I know! Maybe I'll just keep on being Mr. Edgeworth's assistant.
Are you still trying to steal my job, pal?
Just kidding, just kidding! I can't steal something so important to you, Gummy.
Phew, that what a relief.
Okay. Yes? Even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become a great thief? Of course! But I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yatagarasu, so I'm going to hold off on doing anything until I make a tight 3-person team of my own.
A 3-person team?
A 3-person team of young beauties the same age as me, if possible. With those criteria, I only doubt you'll find the 2 other people you need. My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what's so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only things I will ever steal are the truths that have been hidden away. I'm going to work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed. Let's both strive for such a future. Well, I guess it's time for me to get going. I see.
Okay, keep your chin up and stay strong, okay? And don't be a stranger.
Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the window and sneak in. If you could, I would appreciate if you came in through the building's front door.
It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home has already been broken for forever.
Oh, one last thing before I go. Let's take a group picture, just the 3 of us.
Yeah, come and write a photo. Every big case has to end with one.
Dot dot dot. No! Hey, why not?
Don't tell me you're camera shy, Mr. Edgeworth.
Kate does so ninja tricks, I think. Yeah, I think Kate wants to be a ninja more than a thief. Of course not, detective! Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here! Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from me!
You can't run away from this, sir!
Detective Gumshoe! Ah, stop that! I can't be seen doing that! Okay, I'm totally taking it now. Say cheese! And thus, the long tale of the KG8 incident came to a close. It saw the demise of a smuggling ring and the birth of a little great thief. But there is little time to rest and relax, for I am eager to tackle the investigation into a new case. The reason for my eagerness is my want to pursue the truth and my want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor, that is my new creed. So yeah, he's been forced into a picture, into a selfie. Basically, Gumshoe grabbed him by an arm and they bring him towards Skay, and she grabbed him by the cravat to make sure she doesn't move, and they took a picture of all three of them together in a still nature. Turnabout ablaze!